Your home, the one place you thought was safe, may actually be the most dangerous space you live in. That lemon scent in the air, that satisfying shine on your counter, that fresh breeze hum from the plug-in on your wall. They might all be lies. Scientists now warn that over 80% of household cleaners and air fresheners contain volatile compounds linked to asthma, fertility decline, and even cancer. You don't see them, but they linger on your walls, in your lungs, inside your children's bedrooms. The illusion of cleanliness has become America's most profitable cover-up. Why are these toxins still sold as family safe? Why are we breathing in chemicals that the European Union already bans from industrial use? Maybe because the companies making them know that fear doesn't sell, but fragrance does. This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. Tonight, we're exposing the hidden poisons lurking in your favorite household brands and how clean became the dirtiest word in your home. Number 1, Lysol. That comforting hiss of Lysol's spray. That sound we all thought meant clean might actually be the quiet whisper of danger sneaking through your lungs. What if every puff of that so-called freshness was less a shield and more a slow sabotage? Beneath the shiny label promising safety, Lysol hides quaternary ammonium compounds, those same hard-hitting disinfectants used in hospitals. But inside your modest apartment or that old bungalow you've lived in for 30 years, those compounds aren't helping. They're haunting. Doctors have linked chronic exposure to QACs with wheezing lungs, irritated skin, and even fertility problems. Imagine thinking you're protecting your grandkids from germs, when in fact you're fogging your home with something that chips away at your health, one spray at a time. The story gets darker. The parent company, Reckitt Benckiser, the one that Plasters trusted for generations on its products, was the same corporation tied to a tragedy that shook South Korea. Their subsidiary, OxyRB, sold a humidifier disinfectant containing a deadly chemical called PHMG. It wasn't just a minor scandal. It was carnage hidden in a bottle. Over 70 confirmed deaths, thousands injured, and a government report revealing that Reckitt's team knew the risks, yet still marketed the product as safe for children. Families thought they were protecting their babies' lungs. Instead, they were destroying them. It's hard not to ask, if a company can bury that truth once, what else are they keeping under the rug now? And the betrayal didn't stop overseas. Here in the US, the Environmental Working Group exposed that Reckitt lobbied for something cynically nicknamed the Dark Act, designed to keep you in the dark about what's really inside those bottles under your sink. It's as if they not only sold you poison, they fought to hide the label too. Studies show that regular exposure to QACs increases risks of asthma and breathing issues, especially among older adults. So when you spray Lysol thinking you're guarding your home, you might actually be filling it with invisible barbed wire for your lungs. Lysol isn't just a brand, it's a cautionary tale sprayed in lemon scent. Before you reach for that can again, ask yourself, are you freshening the air or feeding the illusion that safety still lives there? Number 2, Glade. It's ironic, isn't it? You plug in that little Glade device hoping to fill your home with peace, only to learn it might be puffing invisible smoke signals of corporate deceit right under your nose. The warm, cozy scent that's supposed to whisper, "Welcome home," may actually be muttering something closer to, "Good luck breathing." SC Johnson & Son, the proud family company behind Glade, loves to sell the illusion of purity, the kind of imagery that could make even an old janitor's mop feel sentimental. But peel back the marketing gloss, and you'll find a long trail of half-truths, lawsuits, and chemicals that don't belong anywhere near your lungs. In 2023, the Washington Post revealed that plug-in air fresheners, those friendly little wall parasites, emit more than 100 chemicals including formaldehyde, benzene, toluene, and xylenes. These aren't minor annoyances. They're the same toxins you'd expect from a traffic jam, not a living room. Long-term exposure links them to hormonal chaos, respiratory damage, and even cancer. That fresh smell, it's basically industrial perfume in disguise, a chemical masquerade that dances its way through your bloodstream. And while Glade proudly brags about being phthalate-free, Independent tests found residues of ethylene oxide and 1,4-dioxane, both known carcinogens, lurking like uninvited guests at a family barbecue. The company didn't suddenly grow a conscience either. It only released its full fragrance list in 2015, after years of consumer outrage and investigative pressure. Before that, shoppers were breathing blind, trusting a brand that decided transparency was optional until the heat was too high to ignore. Add to that a streak of lawsuits. In 2008, Glade faced legal backlash for allegedly lying about Made in USA labels. And back in 2002, over 2.5 million Glade plug-ins were recalled for faulty assembly that risked catching fire. Fire hazards, toxic fumes. Seems like the only thing missing from Glade's resume is honesty. For working Americans already juggling rent hikes and medical bills, it's infuriating to realize that even the air inside your home may be another corporate hustle. A device that's supposed to soothe your nerves could be quietly billing your health for the cost. If you truly want clean air, skip the glowing plug-in and try brands like Puracy, Branch Basics, or Grove Co., companies that show their ingredient list before you have to ask, because nothing about safety should need a subpoena. Number 3, Febreze. That soft hiss of Febreze air effects sounds like relief. One spray and your home feels cleaner, calmer, somehow new. But beneath that pleasant burst of scent is a truth that could sour the air faster than any dirty laundry ever could. What you're actually releasing isn't purity, it's a calculated illusion, a marketing trick in a mist. Procter & Gamble, the corporate giant behind Febreze, has wrapped this aerosol in promises so sweet you almost forget you're buying chemicals. But the data doesn't lie. Scientists have found that a single spray of Febreze can release dozens of volatile organic compounds, including acetaldehyde, synthetic musks, and other chemicals linked to cancer, hormonal disruption, and lung irritation. You thought you were clearing the air. In reality, you may have been clouding it with corporate negligence. And the deceit doesn't stop at chemistry. In 2022, a class action lawsuit accused P&G of misleading consumers by claiming Febreze eliminates odors, when evidence showed it merely masked them. The National Advertising Division later ordered P&G to drop 19 of those claims altogether. In plain English, the odor-destroying miracle you believed in might just be perfume-covered wishful thinking. It's as if the company bottled comfort and sold you a placebo with a pleasant smell. The betrayal feels personal because it is. You trusted the label lied. Then came another blow. In 2023, Febreze's car vent clip found itself at the center of a lawsuit after leaking fluid inside users' vehicles, eating through dashboards like acid. No injuries, just ruined interiors and a sour aftertaste, literally and metaphorically. Once again, a product sold as convenient turned into a costly chemical reminder that trusted brands can turn your possessions into collateral damage. For many older Americans living on tight budgets, a can of Febreze feels like a small luxury, a way to make a worn-down home feel a little fresher. But when that freshness comes laced with compounds flagged as toxins and lawsuits built on deception, what you're really buying is risk disguised as comfort. The truth is, your living room doesn't need another fragrance. It needs honesty. And no matter how softly Febreze sprays, the smell of corporate misconduct lingers far longer than any bad odor it claims to erase. Number 4, Pledge. You think you're polishing your memories when you spray that golden can of Pledge. Each swipe across the table feels like restoring order, respect, and maybe a little pride. But the truth is darker. That soft citrus smell isn't care, it's camouflage. Pledge has long sold the fantasy of a home so clean it shines, but lately that shine looks more like a smirk from a company that knows you'll keep buying the illusion. What you're really doing is misting your living room with silicone oils, synthetic solvents, and fragrances that make your furniture glisten just long enough to hide the chemical grime beneath. Like a slick salesman in a Sunday suit, it flatters your wood just before betraying it. Woodworkers and cleaning professionals have been sounding the alarm for years. Online forums brim with frustration, users complaining that Pledge leaves behind a hazy, sticky film that traps dust instead of repelling it. One exasperated hobbyist even called it a disaster in a can, explaining that the residue was harder to remove than the dust itself. Instead of protection, it's like spraying on plastic wrap and calling it care. The more you use it, the worse your surfaces get, like polishing a lie until it gleams. The company hasn't faced a headline-grabbing recall, but that silence speaks volumes. No recall doesn't mean no risk. It means the story hasn't yet hit the front page. Beneath the calm surface, complaints pile up. Furniture finishes dulled, residues baked into tabletops, users breathing in vapors they never signed up for. Pledge's corporate parent, the same conglomerate responsible for other trusted cleaning staples, has a long record of opacity, chemical vagueness, and consumer confusion. They've perfected the art of making your house look safe while quietly skipping the full disclosure of what's actually inside the can. And here's the part that hits home. Literally, every time you dust, that same residue becomes part of your environment, lingering on surfaces you touch, in rooms where your grandchildren play. It's not just a cleaning ritual, it's a slow layering of invisible buildup, one puff at a time. The home you thought you were protecting might already be coated in the fingerprints of a company that values shine over honesty. So the next time you reach for that lemon-scented promise, pause. Your furniture doesn't need a disguise, it needs truth. And Pledge has been polishing over that for far too long. Number 5, Air Wick. You plug it in, take a deep breath, and think, ah, home. But what if that breath you just took was the start of a countdown? Air Wick's Fresh New Day line, sold with the promise of calm mornings and floral breezes, was in truth a ticking metal grenade hiding behind a lavender smile. In late 2022, Reckitt Benckiser, the corporate parent of Air Wick, admitted that roughly 67,000 aerosol cans shipped across the US and the Caribbean carried a deadly design flaw, a missing corrosion inhibitor. Translation? Those shiny cans could rust from the inside, rupture without warning, and spray high-pressure chemicals into your face. Regulators logged at least 5 separate incidents. 2 leaks, 2 explosions, one that did both. It's not exactly the kind of fresh burst anyone signed up for, but corrosion was just the opening act. Reckitt Benckiser, the same industrial empire behind. Lysol has a record steeped in toxic déjà vu. A decade earlier, its South Korean subsidiary was blamed for a disinfectant tragedy that caused lung damage and deaths. That's the same corporate DNA running through every Fresh New Day cartridge you plug into your wall. So when Reckitt says trust us, it's like a fox offering to babysit the henhouse. Each puff of Air Wick doesn't just scent the air. It perfumes a history of corporate secrecy, delayed recalls, and legal settlements buried deeper than the warning label you never read. Scientists studying indoor air have also thrown the flag. Plug-ins and aerosol fresheners like Air Wick emit volatile organic compounds, acetone, toluene, synthetic musks, that behave less like gentle fragrances and more like uninvited squatters in your lungs. They linger, bind to dust, and react with household ozone to form new pollutants. When those compromised cans rupture, you don't just inhale a whiff of fresh linen, you inhale a burst of chemical chaos, laced with metallic byproducts from the corroded can itself. The very air meant to soothe you ends up feeling like a corporate science fair gone wrong. And yet the company's statement after the recall read like a shrug. No injuries, so no problem. But ask anyone who's ever had an aerosol explode near them. It's not a statistic, it's a trauma. For working-class families and retirees trying to keep their homes smelling decent, this kind of betrayal stings most. You bought freshness, you got fear in a can. Air Wick isn't a household helper anymore. It's a reminder that behind every soft scent can hide a hard truth. Comfort has become collateral damage in the business of selling safety. Number 6. Febreze plugins. It hums quietly in the corner, glowing soft and blue, promising to freshen your home while you go about your day. But that sweet, clean scent drifting through the air might be nothing more than the smell of disappointment, one that Procter & Gamble has been bottling for years. The Febreze plugins you trust to make your home feel inviting are now at the center of lawsuits that paint a far less fragrant picture. Fading performance, melted dashboards, and a long list of consumers who say they were sold a fantasy that evaporated long before 50 days were up. In November 2024, A class action lawsuit titled Pinto versus Procter & Gamble accused the company of misleading claims that each refill lasts 50 days. In reality, thousands of users reported their plugins losing scent after barely 3 weeks. That's not long-lasting freshness. That's a con with a plug. And according to the complaint, P&G allegedly knew about this problem since 2019, but kept printing the same promise, failing to warn customers that room size, ventilation, or even simple temperature could cut the product's lifespan in half. Imagine paying for 2 months of comfort and getting the aroma of corporate apathy instead. Then there's the car version of this deception. A separate class action revealed that Febreze car vent clips leaked oil that seeped into dashboards, staining plastic and causing costly damage. People wanted fresh air on their commute and ended up with chemical burns on their dashboards. Literally, the smell of betrayal baked in by the afternoon sun. The company never issued a full recall, instead treating complaints like isolated inconveniences rather than a pattern of failure. And behind all the legal filings lurks the bigger, invisible problem: volatile organic compounds. Independent studies show that plug-in and aerosol air fresheners can release chemical irritants linked to hormone disruption, breathing issues, and long-term toxicity. Febreze insists it's safe around kids and pets, yet offers no clear data to prove those claims. So the scent you trust to make your home cozier might actually be rewriting your indoor air chemistry, molecule by molecule. For working Americans who just want their homes to smell clean after a long day, this hits hard. You didn't buy a plug-in expecting a chemistry experiment. You bought peace of mind. But instead of comfort, you got corporate spin in liquid form. Febreze plug-ins might whisper freshness without fading, yet their track record smells more like broken promises and perfumed deceit. When a brand tells you to breathe easy, but gives you 50 days of fumes and fine print, maybe it's time to pull the plug. Literally. Number 7, Mr. Clean. That friendly bald man on the bottle might smile like he's got everything under control, but behind that gleaming grin hides a chemical resume that would make any health inspector flinch. When you pour Mr. Clean multi-surface cleaner onto your counter, you're not just inviting freshness into your home, you're opening the door to a silent fog of solvents and surfactants. According to the Environmental Working Group, this so-called household hero earns an F, the lowest possible rating for health safety. That's not a typo, it's a failure. The culprit? Ingredients like C911 parath, C1016 alkyl dimethyl amine oxide, and propylene glycol butyl ether. Names that sound like they belong in a chemistry lab, not your kitchen sink. They can irritate the eyes, stir up asthma, and slowly turn your air into something your lungs have to work overtime to survive. You think you're wiping away germs, but you might be painting an invisible film of chemical haze over every surface you touch. The betrayal deepens when you look at the company behind the shine. Procter & Gamble, the same corporate giant that markets family safety like a religion, has spent years dodging demands for full ingredient transparency. Back in 2010, the environmental group Earth Justice called them out for refusing to list complete chemical data on household products. Think about that. A company built on the promise of trust quietly choosing secrecy over safety. When a cleaner hides what it's made of, that's not hygiene, it's hypocrisy. The brand's spotless mascot might flex his muscles, but the fine print behind him flexes a lawyer's hand instead. Even Mr. Clean's sibling products carry ghosts of controversy. The Magic Eraser, celebrated for scrubbing anything from sneakers to stovetops, has been criticized for its use of melamine foam, a compound chemically related to materials once tied to infant formula disasters abroad. Some analyses even detected trace formaldehyde residues in its production process. Low enough to dodge regulation, but high enough to make you wonder. It's like hiring a janitor who mops the floor, then dumps the bucket in your water supply. So what happens every time you spray, wipe, and inhale? You're giving your body a tiny chemical handshake it never consented to. The shine on your countertop might come at the expense of the air your family breathes. And while no headlines scream national recall, the quiet accumulation of harm speaks louder than any press release. Mr. Clean doesn't just polish your table, he polishes the truth until it disappears. Your home deserves better than a mascot with secrets. It deserves honesty in every drop. Number 8. Swiffer. It glides so easily you barely notice the effort. One swift motion and the floor looks brand new. But the real trick of the Swiffer Sweeper 2-in-1 isn't how smoothly it moves. It's how smoothly it hides its baggage. Behind that shiny purple wand and lemon-scented allure lies a quiet trail of recalls, rumors, and residues that most households never read past the fine print to find. You thought you were buying a shortcut to cleanliness, but what you really bought might be the corporate equivalent of sweeping problems under the rug. Literally. Rewind to 2004, when Procter & Gamble, the parent company behind Swiffer, had to pull back roughly 175,000 Sweep Savac cordless vacuums. The reason? The motor's rotor could seize, overheat, and spark small fires. One confirmed case even resulted in property damage. It didn't make nightly news for long, but it left a stain far harder to scrub out than any kitchen spill. The message was clear. When speed trumps safety, the heat doesn't just stay in the motor, it lands on the consumer. Fast forward to today, and you'll still find threads of unease trailing the brand's slick surface. Recent reports have raised fresh concerns, quite literally. One investigative piece described a wet jet mop that inexplicably caught fire mid-use, while online communities buzzed with debate over whether the cleaning solution was one molecule away from antifreeze. The ASPCA had to publicly calm pet owners' panic. But even a debunked rumor doesn't spread that far unless people already feel uneasy. In households where safety should be as simple as soap and water, it's telling that a mop can spark both flames and fear. Then there's the quieter kind of damage, the kind you only see when the shine fades. Consumers complain of sticky residues on laminate, streaks on sealed wood, or the faint smell of chemical hangover after each pass. Add to that the mountain of single-use pads tossed out every week, and quick and easy starts to look more like wasteful and risky. The Swiffer's promise of effortless cleaning masks a disposable system that leaves behind invisible traces. On your floors, in your air, and eventually in your conscience. So next time you reach for that purple wand of convenience, pause for a moment. Ask whether the glow of a freshly wiped floor is worth the fog of uncertainty it leaves behind. Swiffer sells speed and sparkle, but what it can't bottle is trust. And once that's gone, no number of replacement pads can mop it back. Number 9. Scrubbing bubbles. Those cheerful little bubbles on the label look like cartoon heroes charging in to save your bathroom. But every press of that nozzle might be sending a far more sinister army into battle. Scrubbing bubbles, the household staple that generations have trusted to erase grime, has now found itself in the crosshairs of chemical watchdogs and environmental advocates. According to the Environmental Working Group, its antibacterial bathroom cleaner and Extend-A-Clean foamer can contain up to 10% diethylene glycol butyl ether, a solvent so potent that the European Union banned it in aerosols above 3%. Let that sink in. What's outlawed overseas is sold right here as your friendly bathroom companion. The moment that lemon scent hits your nose, you could also be inhaling a mist that stings the lungs, irritates the eyes, and leaves invisible traces on your porcelain throne. Behind those frothy smiles stands SC Johnson & Son, a company that loves to advertise itself as a family company, though its record on ingredient transparency might make even the most forgiving family member cringe. While Scrubbing Bubbles hasn't faced a mass recall, its placement on EWG's Hall of Shame list tells you plenty. Think of it as the corporate version of detention for products that look wholesome, but flunk the honesty test. Even the brand's much-touted automatic shower cleaner was once so mocked for poor performance that one viral open letter accused it of retiring bathrooms from cleanliness entirely. The humor was sharp, but the truth behind it stung sharper. People weren't just disappointed, they felt duped. Chemically speaking, Degby isn't just another solvent. It's a respiratory irritant that can linger in enclosed bathrooms, mixing with moisture and trapping fumes where you least expect them. The irony is cruel. Each time you spray, you might be turning your sanitized sanctuary into a fog chamber of low-grade toxins. Imagine fighting dirt while slowly sanding away your own air quality. The bubbles you see may vanish, but the residue you can't see could be the real intruder. For ordinary Americans, Retirees, workers, parents. This feels like a betrayal of the simplest trust, that a cleaning product won't compromise the air you breathe. You shouldn't need a chemistry degree to clean your sink. Scrubbing bubbles may sparkle on the outside, but its core formula whispers a warning. Behind every friendly fizz is a fine print soaked in solvents. The next time you reach for that spray bottle, remember, those smiling bubbles aren't scrubbing for you. They might be scrubbing you out. Number 10, OxiClean. That bright blue tub sitting proudly on your laundry shelf might look like a symbol of spotless victory, but the truth bubbling beneath the lid smells more like broken promises. In 2019, the class action lawsuit Pridgeon et al. V. Church & Dwight Co. accused OxiClean of exaggerating how many laundry loads each container could deliver. Many buyers discovered they were getting barely a third of the promised washes. Proof that the miracle cleaner might have been more miracle marketing. You thought you bought value. You got vanishing suds and a load of disappointment instead. But the stains on OxiClean's reputation run deeper than false math. Church & Dwight, the corporate parent, has resisted ingredient disclosure laws in New York, fighting to keep consumers in the dark about what's actually inside their cleaners. That's not confidence, that's concealment. No headline-grabbing recall has hit yet, but the lawsuit's very existence hints at an unsettling pattern. If a company cuts corners on honesty, where else might it cut them? Each underfilled load might mean diluted formulas, residue left behind, or repeat scrubbing that multiplies your exposure. OxiClean once stood for stain removal. Now it's the stain that won't come out. A stain bombshell disappointment that left both your wallet and your trust bleached thin. Before you spray, scrub, or trust again. Subscribe now, because the next clean product might be your household's dirtiest secret.
Thank you for watching today's video all the way through. If you found the content helpful, don't forget to click like and subscribe to stay updated with our latest daily videos. Now, feel free to check out other feature videos currently showing on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.